Hello friends, welcome to Entri. I'm your quant educator Mirza Shambeg, and today I am going to discuss the mains level DI. As you all know that your prelims examination is almost over, which means your mains examination will be lined up. So I am here to give you the method of solving a mains DI. You will love that. But before we start this session, those who have not installed the Entri app must do it at once and start giving free high quality mocks. The link of this app has been given in the description of this video. So let me start this video with a brilliant, or you can say important DI. I have brought a missing DI. As you all know that it is a very trending one these days. So I have brought this kind of DI, and in fact it is also related on banking transactions. Look at this. It gives you a glimpse during the demonetization. Look at this. The DI suggests that it is a 6-question DI. So it's a very important one. Must watch this DI. Okay. Look at this. Study the table. First of all, I have put a simple DI, or you can say single DI with no question, so you can understand the DI with fully understandable. Okay. Some data is missing. Table shows regarding 20 notes, rupees 20 notes by 5 different banks. Look at this, and these are PNB, SBI, Axis Bank, Bank of India and Bank of Baroda. Total number of received notes by bank was 15,000, and if you multiply it with 20, you will get the total value of rupees 20 notes received by banks. Okay, table is for rupees 20. Look, percentage of notes on which 100% return is given. So 100% return means that the face value, if let's suppose that if you have a note of 100 rupee, if you have a note of 100 rupee and you got the value same as its face value, that means it will be 100%. Okay. Ratio of notes on which 50% return and 80% return has been given, and the total value of rupees 20 notes received by bank. So it's a very important DI. Some data is missing. Let's see how it goes. And one more important thing, these two notes are very important ones. Look at this. Each bank has given minimum 50% return, which means there are either 50%, 80% or 100% return. Okay, so these three kind of returns will be given in this DI. So let's move on and let's see what the first question says. The first question says that if difference of notes on which 50% return is given, on which 80% return is given in P and B. Look at this. The data belongs to P and B. The data belongs to P and B. Just watch this. Is 1000. Then find number of notes on which 100% return is given. So it is nothing but a difference of notes. Okay. So as you can clearly see, the difference between these two notes is 2 ratios. So 2 ratios suggest 1000, 1 ratio suggests 500. If you add all these data, which means 12, so it becomes 6000 notes. So 6000 notes suggested 50% and 80% return, and you have got 15,000 notes received, which means if these two data combined gives you 6000 of notes, then the 100% returnee will be definitely 9000. Okay. Now they are asking, then find number of notes on which 100% returnee is given by P and B, or what percent of total notes received by B or B. So it's a very easy question. Look at this. As you can clearly see that you have got 9000 notes on which you will get 100% return. So let's compare it 9000 with what? BOB's total notes received. Look at this. BOB's total notes received is 24,000. So it's a simple one and I'm sure you will love that. 3 by 8. 3 by 8 means 37.5%. It was a piece of cake question. If you get the question correct, you will do everything correct. Okay. So I hope you have an idea about the DI regarding the solving process. Okay, look, just calm your mind because every DI is simple, but yes, the language is difficult, or you can say the language is a bit confusing. So to solve or to crack the language of this kind of questions, your reasoning will have to be very, very good. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The next question says that if total number of notes on which Bank of India gave 100% return and 50% return are 13,500. Okay, I got it. Then find total amount received by Bank of India is how much more or less. So it belongs to the data. So it is again comparing Bank of India with Axis Bank. So remember this. First of all, you should understand that 100% returnee from Bank of India. So let's have a look at the Bank of India data. Okay, look at this. 100% returnee were 75%, which means these two person will be from 25%. So let's suppose that the total received notes were 100x. Okay, if 75%, which means 75x plus rest of the 25, among 25 you are getting 50% data, 50% returnee data, which means 50% returnee is 3:5, which means 3 by 8x. Okay, so it has to be equal to what? It has to be equal to 13500. Now let's solve this question in a simple manner so you can understand. Look, just a minute. 75x plus 75x by 8 equals to 13500. So look at this. 15 5s are 15, 5s are 15, 9s are 5 5 and 180. So you can clearly see that x plus x by 8 equals to 180. So 9x by 8 has to be equal to 180, which means the value of x arises 160. So we have got the value of x, which means our total notes received was what? 16,000 notes, which means your total value, look at this. Then find total amount received by Bank of India. So Bank of India will receive definitely 32,000 because the notes were 3,20,000. Okay, 3,20,000. Okay, is how much more or less than the total amount received by Axis Bank. Look at this. The Axis Bank suggested 10,000. Once you multiply it with 20 to get the total value received, it will become 2 lakh. So if you subtract 3,20,000 and 2 lakh, you will get 1,20,000. It was a piece of cake question, but just you have to understand that you will have to solve it according to the merit. And I hope you are getting it. Look, the DI for mains will be a bit calculative, but this DI is not such as it. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. If the ratio of notes on which 50% return is given by Bank of Baroda is same as a ratio of notes on which 50% return to 80% ratio is given by Axis Bank. So which means the ratio of Bank of Baroda returnees 50% and 80% will be similar to the Axis Bank. Okay, look at this, the data. So Axis Bank has 1:4, which means Bank of Baroda will also be 1:4. Now let's move on. And number of notes on which Bank of Baroda gave 100% return are 20% less than the total notes received by PNB. Look at this. The PNB would have received 15,000, and Bank of Baroda gave 100% return, are 20% less than the total notes received by PNB, which means 15,000's 80%. Okay, so look at this. 12,000 notes were returned in Bank of Baroda. Look at this, 12,000. So you have figured out this data. Now then find the ratio of notes on which Bank of Baroda gave 80% return to that on which it gave 100% return. So clearly look at this. The 80% data is 1:4. Okay. So how you are going to solve this? As you all know that if you have received a total of 24,000 on which you have received 12,000 notes for which you are getting 100% return, then you can clearly see that the rest of the 12,000 were from this 50% data and 80% data. Okay, which means 1:4. So clearly 5 ratio suggests this. So 2400, it has to be equal to 24, and once you multiply with 4 you will get the value of 80% return data. And now you are going to compare it on 100% return data. So clearly you can clearly see that it goes 5 times. So 4:5 will be the final answer. So the option C is always on the correct. Okay, so I hope you are getting the concept which you needed. All right, so let's move on to the next question. You look at the next question. If total number of notes received by Bank of India is 40% less than the total notes received by SBI. So basically SBI and Bank of India is comparing. Look at this. If total number of notes received by SBI, or you can say total number of notes, look at this, Bank of India and SBI. If SBI is 100, which means Bank of India will receive 60 notes, which means the ratio will arise as 3:5. Then find the average number of 20 rupees notes received by all these banks. So look at this. Does it look confusing? No, I don't think so. If in rupees 20 notes SBI received 9 lakh rupees, which means the number of notes must have been 45,000. If this 45,000 is equal to 5 ratio, that means 1:= 9,000, and Bank of India will receive 27,000. So Bank of India has received 27,000. Now let's calculate all these data. Okay, so if you calculate 45 and 27, it will become 72,000. So added with 15,000, 10,000, 24,000. Let's calculate it. 4, 5, 9, 9 to 11. Okay, 8, 9, 10 and 2, 12. Okay, so once you divide it by 5, you'll get the correct answer. 5 2s are 10, 5 4s are 20, 5 2s are. So it will be a clear answer of 24,200. So we have figured out this kind of question very easily. When you look at the question, you will see that the two data has been given in terms of ratio was Bank of India and SBI. Then you will get confused. Wait a minute. How you are going to solve this one if you got two unknown data? But remember one thing, you have been given the data of total value for SBI, which means you can calculate the total number of notes received by bank. So you can easily figure out. Okay. The next question. The next question suggests that if percentage of notes on which 100% return is given by PNB is 50%. Look at this. If it is given as 50%, Then find the amount earned by PNB in the whole transaction. Look, it will be a calculative one. How? Why would I say that? Why? Look at this. First of all, you should understand that 50% of the notes were returned, which means the rest of the 50% were also returned in 50% returnee and 80% returnee. So how you are going to solve this one? Look at this. 50% of 15,000 will be what? 7,500. And these 7,500 will be multiplied with what? 20. Why? Because you will be getting the whole 20 face value, because it is the data for 100% return. Now let's move on to the next one. If you calculate 7,500 in these two ratio, then you can see 12 ratio suggests that 7,500, 3 4, 325. Okay, so 4 6 4 2 4 5. Okay, so once you multiply with 625 in 5 and 625 in 7, you will get the separate data for 50% returnee and 80% returnee. So let's calculate it. Okay, 5 5s are 25, 5 2s are 10, 12, 3125. So 3125 will be multiplied with 10 rupee. Why 10 rupee? Because you are getting the 50% returnee. Now let's move on to the next data. Look, the question is very important. Just need to look at this one. 7 5s are 35, 7 2s are 14 and 3 17 7 4 3 7 5. So this 4 3 7 5 multiplies with what? Multiplies with 80% returnee. So 80% of this 16. Now let's calculate all these data. Okay, let's calculate it, because you have to find out the amount of transaction earned. All right. Now first of all, let's calculate all these data and you will know everything. Now when you calculate all these data, you will get some numbers, but what will you do to earned profit? You will compare it with the total received value. Okay, so 15,000 were the notes, and if you multiply it with 20, you will get the whole value. Okay, now if you subtract this data from this one, you will get the earned amount, and that is 48,750. All right, I hope you will find the answer. It was a lengthy question. You might find it difficult to solve these kind of questions, but you have to do it because it is a mains level DI, and in my opinion it is still a simple question because you could understand these kind of questions easily. All right, look at this question. If difference of number of notes on which PNB gave 50% and 80% return is 1500. So basically the difference has been given for this data. Okay, the difference has been given for this data, 1500, and number of notes on which Axis Bank gave 80% return. Axis Bank gave 80% return, on which PNB 80% return are 1750 less than the number of notes on which PNB gave 50% return. So it's really a tricky question. Okay, so how you are going to solve this one? Look, first of all, we need to figure out the 50% data of PNB, because from where you will understand the Axis Bank's 80% data. Then find total number of notes on which PNB and Axis Bank gave 100% return. So we can figure out how. Look at this. Look, the difference will be 1500 of two data. One ratio equals to 750. So clearly the 50% data for PNB will be ratio 5. So 5 ratio stands for 5 5s are 25, 5 7s are 35 and 3750. So this data is for 3750. Okay, now it is clearly said that Axis Bank's 80% return are 1750 less. So if you subtract 1750, you will get the data of what? 80% returning, which is equal to 4 ratios. So 4 ratios suggest 2000 number of notes, 1 ratio suggests 500 notes. Now they are asking you, so let's 5 ratio equals to 2500 notes. So 2500 notes were from these two data, okay, which means 7500 notes were from what? These two, this 100% returning. So they're asking you then find a total number of notes on which PNB and Axis Bank gave 100% returning. Okay, so how you are going to find this one? If you could figure out this data, you can easily sort out the question. So we have found the 100% returning of Axis Bank. Now let's find the data for PNB as well. So 2 ratio equals to 750, which means 12 ratio equals to what? 60 and 9000. Okay, so this data suggests 9000, which means this data will be 6000. Okay, so 6000 and 7000, which means 13,500 will be the correct answer. All right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this session of mains level DI. Okay, so that's it from my side, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it, and do not forget to subscribe this YouTube channel, and do not forget to install the Entri app. Keep watching Entri. Till then, thank you.